for a lot of the women that I met in that Red Tent program, it was economics. It seriously was. If you or I shoplift or got drunk driving or did some minor petty crime, we could pay the lawyer and the fine and the fee and be done with it. But when people who have no regular income or who have, 5 kids and they're living on welfare, something bad happens in the criminal justice system, even the most minor offenses, and they're stuck because they can't pay the fine, they can't pay for an attorney, they can't pay they even have to pay their probation officer. I mean, they have to pay somebody to come and pee test them while they're in probation. So a lot of those women had committed these kind of minor drug offenses or drunk driving offenses, and then just got caught in the system where they're doing 1 or 2 years in jail, and then they get out and they can't find a job. And so, I mean, personal choices, yes, people make bad choices or bad decisions, but I also just think the sheer economic strata that you're born into. I mean, I've got family who could help me. A lot of these people didn't have anybody who were able to help them get out of this bad place that they had gone. I know plenty of people who have, tried coke a couple times or tried, pot a couple times and it doesn't take over their life. But some people, that's not true. Some people, it does. It holds you in the throes. And it's your genes, it's your biology, and it's also self-medicating. I mean, I think this is a little different veering of a path, but self-esteem, self-loathing, um, people who want to just mask that kind of a pain, or a lot of the women had been abused, whether by their families when they were little or by their partners or their spouses as they grew older. They'd had children taken away for various reasons, which made them just feel like the worst piece of dirt in the world. So, I think a lot of the drug use was also a means of self medicating and trying to forget this place their life had gone. For every one of those moms, I think 8 out of 10 of them had kids, and like school age kids who were then being raised by grandma, auntie, foster system. A lot of them, a lot of them ended up in the foster care system, but they can't be adopted because their parental rights haven't been severed. So when mom gets out of jail, she goes through these plans and tries to get the kids back. In the meantime, the kids have no permanency and they're being bounced around. So I think the jail is not helping anybody. And there's the reason I wanted to write about the Red Tent program was because there are some people who are trying to help the people in jail. I did one story about a old folks home had a group of volunteers who started a newspaper in jail, and they had the women writing stories and interviewing their guards and the other inmates. And I think there are people out there. Red Tent, they were trying to sew and they were trying to talk through these sewing circles and just have the women connect with each other so they didn't feel so isolated and despondent. And so, there are programs, there are people that are trying to help within the jail. But the idea of just throwing people for possession and drug use and possession and, first offense because they can't pay the fines, I think it's hurting taxpayers, but it's mostly hurting these people's children and their families. That the next generation is going to grow up broken. And a lot of those women, when they get out of the Red Tent, they are trying to help and mentor the other women. They started like a clothes closet for people so they can dress in professional clothes. They contacted a hair salon and they got them so they could do their hair for them. And, so I think they're like trying to help each other, as after they get through this, which is amazing.
Thank you for that story, Lane. Really appreciate it. Very interesting.
Wow, this is a great story. I thank you very much to make us see another side of life. How life can be crooked, how life can be, become so bad, so damaged by one single mistake. It's true, those people, they go into jail, and as you said, maybe they have no money to ask or to call for help, and they can be there for a very long time, and they will destroy their life and find no way out of that situation. We have to think about that, and we have to see if we can help people whenever they are in needs, and stop judging people for no reason. Thank you for the story. My name is Randolph.
Well, that's why capitalism, in many ways, is a failed system, because when you're born into the bottom sphere, or you're someone who is part of a group that's been forgotten, you really are left behind. Uh, our society is a failure.